Tariq Ali.
Friends, we should make one or two things clear to the media and to the politicians who continue to mouth lies. There is no such thing as a UK independent nuclear deterrent. There is no independent nuclear deterrent. No British Prime Minister can put his or her finger on the trigger. The finger on the trigger is that of the United States President. That's a fact. The Supreme Commander of the NATO forces, who is always an American general, is the person who will decide when nuclear weapons can be used. Either the Trident missiles or the bombs that are being placed at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany, where 100 planes are permanently on the ready. 60 will be flown by Americans, 40 by Germans. Same in Italy, same in Lakenheath. So what is all this fuss about? The fuss is really about pretense, because everyone knows. Even Tony Blair said it in his memoirs, that that common sense tells us that there is no practical or utilitarian or financial justification for the Trident, but we need it because it upgrades Britain's position in the world. Upgrades. I think it downgrades Britain's position in the world. If we want to upgrade Britain's position in the world, which at the moment is zilch, because it is seen as a poodle of the United States, it is seen as someone who supports the United States in all its wars, it's this that has created huge problems for Britain in the world. If it really wants to morally upgrade its position in the world, it has to get rid of nuclear weapons and Trident. And why does this seem possible again? Because some of you may not know that one of the largest movements we had in this country in the late 50s and the early 60s was the campaign for nuclear disarmament, supported by hundreds and thousands of people. 100 Labour MPs were members of CND. Virtually 80% of the constituency Labour parties backed CND. So that opportunist, careerist MPs, when they went for their selection meetings, and I won't name names, but when they went for their selection meetings, they used to put on a CND badge so they might be selected by the Labour Party. So what is all this nonsense we hear from right-wing Labour MPs that we can't get elected? What Kinnock attacked Corbyn for today. Kinnock used to be a member of CND once upon a time, then he left it, like many others. Then he became leader of the Labour Party. Then he stood for elections. He didn't win. He didn't win. Why didn't he win? What has that to do with CND or what was being advocated at that time? So we have a real possibility today. When we have a leader of a major mainstream party committed to getting rid of these missiles, which most people agree, including many a retired general, are of no use whatsoever to this country, but are going to cost a lot of money. There is no reason for it at all. And for the first time now in years, these questions are being debated in the House of Commons for two reasons. One is that you have a new leader of the Labour Party, and the second is that you have Scotland coming out strongly against nuclear weapons and its representatives making that very clear today. You know, the first CND march I went on in 1964, huge numbers were coming in from Aldermaston. It used to be from Aldermaston to London. Aldermaston is where they were specializing in germ warfare. And we used to march from Aldermaston to London. And one of the liveliest contingents used to be the contingent from Scotland, who used to chant, "Och, och, there's a monster in the loch. Och, och, there's a monster in the loch, and we dinna want Polaris." And now there's no monster in the loch, and they don't want Trident either, because the monster in the loch has actually taken the Scottish Parliament and has 50 odd MPs in the House of Commons. So there is a growing mood for getting rid of the Trident missile. And were we to elect a Labour government under the leadership of Corbyn and his colleagues, there is a possibility that this demand that was first put up in the late 1950s will become a reality. And all of this depends not simply on the political leaders, including the ones we like, but on us. What are we going to do? Without campaigning against Trident, in defense of public ownership of the railways, in defense of the National Health Service, it is not going to be possible without a campaign to move forward, because campaigns mobilize people. Debates stimulate people. We live in a society where they don't like debates at all. They don't like diversity, either in the print media or in television by and large. They don't like diversity in Parliament either, but there they can't stop it. And because it exists outside and in Parliament, it can't be ignored. But we have to reignite the spirit of debate. We have to discuss these issues on the shop floor, in offices, on the streets, in home, and then a huge campaign can be developed. A huge campaign which will return a party to power that is committed to getting rid of Trident missiles. That is what we have to do to work for. I want to see Jeremy Corbyn in number 10 Downing Street.